Hello, in this video I am going to explain material science which comes under module 5 of engineering physics prescribed by VTU. Here I am going to explain the following points, that is free electron theory, drift velocity and failures of classical free electron theory. Let us concentrate on free electron concept. So if we look at metals, all metal atoms consist of valence electrons. These valence electrons are responsible for electrical conduction in bulk state of metal. In metals, due to close packing of atoms, the boundaries of neighboring atoms overlap. Due to this, the valence electrons find continuity from one atom to the other atom, and thereby they are not confined to their parent atom. These electrons are free to move within the metal and hence they are called free electrons. As these electrons are responsible for electrical conduction in solid, they are also called as conduction electrons. Now let us look at classical free electron theory. This is also considered as Drude-Lorentz theory. So according to classical free electron theory, it was proposed in the year 1900, based on the following assumptions or postulates. So the first assumption is there are free moving valence electrons called free electrons in a metal, and these are confined to its body. The electric current in a metal due to an applied electric field is a consequence of the drift velocity in a direction opposite to the direction of the field. The second one is the free electrons are treated equivalent to gas molecules and thus are assumed to obey classical kinetic theory of gases. In the absence of electric field, the kinetic energy of the electron is given by half mvth square is equal to half, that is 3 by 2 kt. So here Vth is nothing but thermal velocity, K is Boltzmann constant and T is temperature in Kelvin and M is mass of the electron. The third one is the electric potential due to the ionic cores is taken to be uniform throughout the metal. The fourth one is the attraction between the free electrons and the lattice ions and the repulsion between the electrons themselves are considered insignificant. So these were all the four postulates made by classical free electron theory. Next, let us discuss about what is mean free path lambda. It is the average distance travelled by the conduction electrons between two successive collisions with the lattice ions. So that we can look at in the figure. And if we look at mean collision time tau, it is nothing but the average time that elapses between two successive collisions of an electron with the lattice point, and it is considered as mean collision time denoted by symbol tau. Next, relaxation time tau r. So relaxation time is nothing but time required for the average velocity of the conduction electrons, which is exponentially decay to 1 by e times its value just when the electric field is turned off, and it is considered as relaxation time. If we plot a graph of V average versus time, so the curve decreases exponentially from VAV dash as shown in the figure. So here VAV dash is equal to 0 in the absence of applied field and VAV is equal to VAV dash in the presence of the applied field. If the field is turned off suddenly, the average velocity VAV reduces exponentially to 0. That is already shown in the graph. So mathematically we can write VAV is equal to VAV dash into e to the power of minus t by tau r, where t is counted from the instant the field is switched off and tau r is a constant called relaxation time. Suppose if t is equal to tau r, then VAV is equal to VAV dash into e to the power of minus 1, or finally we can write VAV is equal to 1 by e times VAV dash. So this is the expression for average velocity. Now let us discuss about drift velocity. The net displacement in the position of electrons per unit time caused by the application of electric field is known as drift velocity. So drift velocity is denoted by symbol Vd, which is equal to small e into capital E into tau all divided by m. Here E is charge on the electron, capital E is electric intensity, and tau is mean collision time. And current density J, if you look at it, is nothing but the current I per unit area of cross section A of an imaginary plane held normal to the direction of current in a current carrying conductor. So current density J is equal to I by A, or further J is equal to NE into Vd, and further I is equal to NA into E into Vd. So these were all the expressions for current density J. Next, let us discuss about the failures of classical free electron theory. So what are the failures made by the classical free electron theory that we are discussing now here? So electrical and thermal conductivities can be explained from classical free electron theory, but fails to explain the facts such as specific heat, temperature dependence of conductivity, and dependence of electrical conductivity on electron concentration. So these were all the three aspects that we are going to consider for explaining the failures of classical free electron theory. Now let us take up the first concept, that is the specific heat. The molar specific heat of a gas at constant volume is given by Cv is equal to 3 by 2 times R, but the experimental value for specific heat was found to be Cv is equal to 10 to the power of minus 4 R into T, where R is gas constant, T is the temperature, which was far lower than the expected value and also showed a dependence on temperature which is contrary to the theory. Next, the second point is temperature dependence of electrical conductivity. It was experimentally observed that for metals, the electrical conductivity is inversely proportional to the temperature. That is, sigma experiment is proportional to 1 by T. According to the main assumptions of the classical free electron theory, it can be written as 3 by 2 kT is equal to half mVth square. Therefore, Vth is equal to square root of 3 kT by m, and further we can write Vth is proportional to square root of T. The mean collision time tau is inversely proportional to the thermal velocity. That is, tau is proportional to 1 by Vth. Therefore, tau is proportional to 1 by square root of T. Electrical conductivity sigma is given by sigma is equal to Ne square tau by m. Therefore, sigma is proportional to tau and it is proportional to 1 by square root of T. So we can write sigma theory is proportional to 1 by root T. So it is theoretically obtained value. Thus it is clear that the prediction of classical free electron theory is not agreeing with the experimental observations. The third one is dependence of electrical conductivity on electron concentration. According to classical free electron theory, the electrical conductivity is given by sigma is equal to Ne square tau by m, where N is electron concentration. So as per this, sigma is proportional to N. This means that divalent and trivalent metals with larger concentration of electrons should possess much higher electrical conductivity than monovalent metals, which is contradiction to the observed fact that experimentally it is found that as N increases, sigma is not found to increase. The conductivity of monovalent metals, for example copper or silver, is greater than that of divalent and trivalent metals, that is zinc and aluminum. So these were all the failures made by classical free electron theory. Thank you.